Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Maurice Mason. I'm Caledonia's Vice President of Corporate Development and Investor Relations, and I'm very pleased to be giving you an overview of the company corporate presentation and outlook for investors. It is early September 2025. I would draw your attention to our disclaimer, which you can read at your leisure. Caledonia quite simply aims to deliver value for shareholders through paying a yield and delivering investors growth in the underlying production and revenue and profit generation of the business. It's a model that's worked very well for us in the past. We have a long track record of paying dividends. We've been paying a dividend since 2012, and we've delivered a very good revenue and production growth in the business. Obviously, some of that has come from a rising gold price, but we're also quite proud of our achievement in terms of increasing production, and it's a trend that we expect to continue. So we are an established Zimbabwean gold producer. We have 4 assets in our portfolio, so we have a good position in terms of the development curve. We're heavily focused on growth. We're targeting over 200,000 ounces of annual production from the business. That's from the current base this year, where we're producing between 75 and 80,000 ounces. We're very well positioned in the project pipeline. We have a portfolio of assets which leave us well placed along producing assets, shovel-ready growth projects, resources that are in need of further development work and exploration upside. And we've got a very strong track record of delivering positive returns for our shareholders. As you see on the slide there, we've distributed over $60 million of dividends, which we're very proud of, and it's worked out very well for the share price as well. The company has delivered good returns for shareholders, including increase in the share price performance, as well as capital returns to shareholders through dividends. As I said, the investment portfolio consists of 4 assets. The primary asset, or as we say, the goose that lays the golden eggs, is the Blanket Mine. That is an asset that we acquired into the portfolio in 2006, so we've operated for almost 20 years in Zimbabwe. It's been a fantastic investment for us. It produces approximately 75 to 80,000 ounces. That's our full year 2025 guidance, and guidance we would expect to continue at that sort of level for the foreseeable future. It has an existing life of mine based on the current reserve life of 10 years, but there's quite a large resource base at Blanket as well. There's approximately 3 million ounces of measured and indicated resource as well. So there's plenty of scope for mine life extension at Blanket, and that certainly helps fund the business and gives us a very good basis from which to deliver our growth platform. We then have a shovel-ready development project in Bilboes. Bilboes is a large project, and it will be transformational for our business when we deliver it. Bilboes is a 3 million ounce property. There's 2.5 million ounces in M&I and over another 500,000 ounces in inferred. And as you can see from the grade there, 2.3 grams a ton on the measured and indicated grade, which is a very good grade for an open pit project. Average grades worldwide are approximately 1 gram a ton for open pit mines. So this is certainly a very large project and a high-grade project that will be transformational for our business when we bring it into production. We then have Marley Green, which is a compliant resource, but still needs additional work to firm up the technical feasibility of building a mine there. So we know there's gold there, but we have some work to be done before we can bring that gold to account and look at what's going to be required from an investment point of view to get the mine into production. And then Motapa, which is an early stage exploration project. We think Motapa has a lot of potential, but there's a lot of additional work to be done on Motapa before we can have any higher levels of confidence from a geological perspective. We have evolved the business quite significantly over the past few years. We've transformed from becoming a single asset producer to now, as I said, in the portfolio 4 assets, and that's we've grown the resource base. The M&I resource base is now almost 5 million ounces, and if you include inferred resources, we've got almost 7 million ounces total in the portfolio over these 4 assets. And as I said, the production engine room that we have in Blanket sets us up very well to deliver the growth portfolio going forward. We do have a long track record of value creation for all stakeholders in Zimbabwe. It's been a very good investment for our shareholders, and we're also very proud of the contributions that we make to all stakeholders in Zimbabwe, including the government and local communities. I draw your attention to the chart on the right, which is a relative performance of the Caledonia share price, including dividends. The GDXJ, which is the Van Eck Junior Gold Miners Index, which is the benchmark index against which we measure ourselves from an industry perspective, and the gold price. So Caledonia, all of those three lines are indexed to 100, and that's over a 10-year time frame. So over the last 10 years, Caledonia has delivered a tenfold return to shareholders in terms of share price growth and dividend performance over the last decade. The gold price has approximately tripled over the last decade, and the GDXJ has grown approximately fourfold. So we're proud of our track record, and the primary drivers of that track record have been minimizing dilution to shareholders over time and paying a dividend. Dividend compounds very effectively over time and is very helpful in delivering outsized or standout returns to shareholders. And then on the left-hand side, the economic contribution that we make to stakeholders in the country is obviously very important. We want to be a good neighbor. We are investors in the country, and we're there to deliver returns for our shareholders, but we want to do it in such a way that we make both a positive social and economic contribution to the governments and the communities in which we operate. And we're very proud of that track record, and we believe the numbers speak for themselves. So Zimbabwe has had a challenging history from an investment perspective, and we've been operating in the country for almost 20 years, and as the previous slide illustrated, we've delivered very positive returns for our shareholders. But just a few comments on the country, and we are certainly seeing encouraging signs of certainly relative and, in our view, overall absolute improvements in the investor outlook. So physical security, first of all, is not a concern. So as opposed to some other West African jurisdictions where there's quite significant physical security concerns, we don't have any of those concerns in Zimbabwe, and that's quite important, obviously, for our people and also for giving investors comfort. We are seeing increasing levels of stability after a very difficult foreign exchange environment over the past 15, 20 years. So the Reserve Bank and the monetary authorities are making substantial efforts to improve currency stability and to ensure that the mistakes of the past are not repeated. And we're optimistic that those measures will be successful, and we continue to support where we can in making sure that is. We're obviously a very positive contributor to delivering US dollar revenues for the country, as are other gold miners and tobacco farmers and exporters in the country. And so we do play a critical role in bringing in a critical foreign exchange, which does help to ensure currency stability. We have a very high quality local workforce. We don't operate the mine with large crews of expats flying in and out, and that's quite important. Again, to make a positive social contribution to the community, but also, frankly, expats flying in and out are quite expensive, and so we don't think that's a sustainable way to run a business long term when the skills are available domestically. And we are seeing a significant improvement in the rankings, particularly the Fraser Institute, which the most recent ranking came out. And Zimbabwe is, from a few years ago, being ranked very close to the bottom of the Fraser Institute ranking, is now mid-table amongst its African peers. And we think that is reflective of our experience on the ground. We've thought for some time that the risk in Zimbabwe was mispriced, and we're pleased to see that both markets and institutes such as the Fraser Institute are starting to reflect that reality. So as I said earlier, our cornerstone asset is the Blanket Mine. This has been producing for over 100 years. It's an asset that we acquired in 2006 and have invested quite significantly in the business over the past almost 20 years. So Blanket has a very compelling track record. As you can see in the bottom there, there's almost 3 million ounces of gold, about 2.8 million ounces of gold if you include the inferred resources. It has a 10-year life of mine at the moment, and we have production guidance at the moment of 75 to 79,000 ounces, and we're comfortable we're going to keep that production level. Probably, we expect to see that production level sustained for the foreseeable future. Current life of mine on reserve is 10 years, but with the resource base at the bottom, you see there are almost 3 million ounces. We have a lot of potential for mine life extension over time, and certainly the operating history of the mine over 100 years is testament to that fact. We have also Blanket is the gift that keeps on giving from an exploration perspective. You can see from these numbers here, the recent update to the resources and reserves. We increased our probable reserves by over 220% and total reserve by over 100%. And the M&I resources increased by 63% and the inferred resources by 26%. So we're very confident that geologically the mine is nowhere near fully depleted, and will keep running for many years to come. As far as growth projects are concerned, as I said, we have a very good pipeline supported by the cash flows of Blanket, but with the ability to deliver on Caledonia's strategy of delivering both a combination of dividends and growth to shareholders. So Bilboes will be the next mine that Caledonia builds. Bilboes is a very large project. It'll be the biggest mine in Zimbabwe by far once it's in construction. It's a total 3 million ounce resource base, and we have a PEA study that we published on our website, which highlights the economics. You can see there for yourself on the left-hand side. I draw your attention to the gold prices that we used, and those are obviously well below spot at current levels. Now this study will need some additional work, and we'll be in a position to update the market within the coming months, either late 2025 or early 2026, with regard to the outcomes of updated work we're doing on that study. But you can see very strong, very compelling economics, very good payback, and very low all-in sustaining costs, which obviously will be very positive at these gold prices. So Bilboes is a very exciting project for us. Our focus at the moment is to look at funding this asset, this project, on a basis which minimizes dilution and maximizes value per Caledonia share. Motapa is an exploration project. It is contiguous to Bilboes, as you can see. So if I can use a laser pointer and highlight, this is the Bilboes project, and you can see actually some of the remnants of oxide mining at Bilboes, where we've been extracting oxides there for some time. And Motapa is just to the southeast of Bilboes. It's a large property. It doesn't have any compliant resource at the moment, but you can see some of the drilling results on the left-hand side there, and I'll draw your attention to some of the intersections we're given. Now, I do mention, and I should caution investors, that this is all pre-resource, so there's lots of additional work to be done here before we can establish perhaps an inferred resource of this property. But it's always nice to see intersections like this when you've got a permitted operation, which we hope to construct not very far away. So some of these drill results are certainly getting us give us good reason to be optimistic. We are very proud of our ESG, environmental, social, and governance track record in the country. We make, as I said earlier, an enormous positive social contribution. There are 2,500 people on the mine who have honourable work and meaningful employment, thanks to the investment of our shareholders and to the contribution of all the stakeholders in the business. We have very low employee turnover. Zimbabwe is not a wealthy country, and there's employment opportunities are limited. So obviously the people we employ are very grateful for their jobs. We have a very good track record of payments to government. Those payments to government include both taxes that have been paid, payroll taxes, and the government also a shareholder in the operation as well as the community and our workers. So we have a very well distributed and positive balance of stakeholders who are employed at the mine. So from an outlook, the business is certainly has a promising future in our opinion. As I said, we have an existing producing asset, which will mean that we don't have to depend on shareholders to keep funding the business. We will complete the new feasibility study at Bilboes and start to progress the development of that asset, looking at ways to finance it in the most optimal way to optimize value. Continue to focus on delivering longer term returns to shareholders, as our track record over the past 10 years has illustrated, and becoming a multi-asset producer in Zimbabwe, where we do believe we have competitive advantage, and in our view it is one of the last gold frontiers in Africa, with enormous geological potential and a business environment in which we've demonstrated that we can operate very effectively. A little bit of comment on our shareholder register. So insider ownership in the company, this is employees and directors, is 14% of the company, which is quite substantial. So we do feel that our objectives are aligned with shareholders, and that's I think that should give investors some comfort that we do have goal alignment. As far as the other shareholder base, this is based on public information, but we have shareholders from Allan Gray, Baker Steel. There is some passive holding in the United States from BlackRock and VanEck. The VanEck is a GDXJ gold miners index, and then BlackRock is by virtue of Caledonia's inclusion in the Russell 3000, which is a generalist stock index in America. Some contact information available. Our details are also on our website if anyone is looking to contact us, and details also of the companies who currently cover us and provide research. So that's all, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your attention, and there's nothing more to say except I hope that was useful, and thank you for your time.